Yuki boy.
What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with a card discussion today about one of the new cards that is coming out that's sending a little riff around the community called Yuki Usagi. Now this is a light level 3 tuner psychic that has 0 attack and 1800 defense, and its effect reads as follows. During either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated on the field, or when the effect of a face-up spell or trap card is activated, you can send this card from your hand or from your side of the field to the graveyard. Destroy that card, and you can only use it once per turn. This is a very interesting card indeed, and automatically the whole kind of community went, go fuck you, Veiler. Veiler is no longer used anymore. Stop. That is not the case. This card is insanely good in my opinion, and I'll get onto Veiler in a second, but this card is great. Not only can you destroy monsters that activate the effects, you can destroy spell and trap cards that activate the effect, but I want to make something clear. At no point does it say it negates the effect. It negates the effect of the card. That does not happen. So for example, someone activates a Summon a Monk effect when it discards a card. You activate this, discard it, destroy Summon a Monk. That's great. Summon a Monk's effect still hangs on and resolves because it doesn't have to be on the field. There are so many cards in this game that can dodge these types of effects. And while this card is good because it removes some of the elements, it can be used on things like Tenki, for example, so Tenki won't actually search, and other cards like this, but it's not as good as people are first making it out to be. I think once people realize that it doesn't negate the effect, they'll think, oh, okay, well, yeah, in that instance, Effect Veiler is probably still better. Now, if we compare the two, if this card had the effect negation and built it into it as well, it would be ridiculous. It would be one of the most stupid cards that they brought out because everyone will play it at 3 regardless, because there's no real downside to not play it at 3. But I think it's still a good card for people to consider. If we look away from the effect and actually look at the card itself, it's an E-Telly target, and what I mean by that is emergency teleporter. You can special summon it from the deck, so you can E-Telly into this and then maybe negate something, but the monster goes to the end phase because of E-Telly. It's a tuner, which is quite interesting, and I would have thought, to be honest, I would have thought it would have been an Earth, because it would just make more sense, but a light psychic tuner? Sure. The card is definitely great. One of the things I do like about the actual effect is that it's from the hand or from the field that you can send it, and that just gives it a nice little bit of versatility. There aren't many reasons why I would see you summoning this, because in most cases people are probably just going to have this as a hand trap, specifically like the Maxi and like the Veiler. There will be a few times where you will summon it to make a synchro play or something like that, like how some people sometimes summon a Veiler in Dragon Ruler format. Ruler and a Veiler, level 8. Tefnuet, Veiler, Black Rose. You know, there are few times when people actually will summon these types of things to make another use from it, but I'd say 95% of the time you're going to be using it for its effect, because its effect is very good. But when you compare it to Effect Veiler is a whole different thing, because while it is also a tuner, strange how they're both tuners, Veiler does something different. Veiler completely stops the effect, and because of that, you can argue that Effect Veiler is still better, but what I do like about this card is that it can stop spell and traps as well. It can destroy them, and that is very, very powerful, because at the end of the day, you can consider it an MST as well in your hand. It's more back row destruction. In this game now, back row destruction isn't too big, to be honest, because you would only use this on equip spells, continuous traps, and so on and so forth. Things that you don't just activate and then if they get destroyed, they will still resolve, because it's just a waste. The meta really has to shape up, and the cards that really have to shape up for this to be good, to really utilize it, is going to be interesting, because at the end of the day, there are many cards out there that aren't really screwed over by this card. When your opponent still gets the effect off, it's kind of like you're minusing yourself. If we look at Satellanites, for example, you play this against Satellanites, it's not really going to matter. They summon the Vega, you activate this to destroy it. Vega still summons, gets the Altair, gets the Deneb. Sure, you've maybe stopped them going from Trivet or Deltaros, but those types of decks can really resource their field very quickly, normally in the same turn, because they'll probably have an Oasis or Call the Haunted set. It's a solid card, but I don't think it's as crazy as people might think. I think I'll definitely test it, definitely see what different types of decks are going to accommodate this. You could just throw it in like the Maxis and the Veilers. And it depends on what meta decks there are and what cards they're using. But if you really think about it, this card is really good against Pendulum decks. And you can even stop those lovely tool searches to just make them -800 and then destroy it. Sure, it goes back to the extra deck, but that's Pendulum Sphere. So I want to know what you guys think of this card. Do you think it's going to replace Effect Veiler, or do you think it's just a nice option for an extra hand trap to have and maybe some integration into Psychic decks or just general Synchro decks? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.